Hello, everyone. Very good morning to one and all who's joining me in Indian cooking today. I would like to thank the Royal Voluntary Service, the Virtual Village Hall, for this opportunity to share my cooking knowledge with you all. So I'm going to cook. So this is an authentic Indian cooking. What I am planning to show through these cooking shows. So today I've chosen Dhal and Chapati, which is like a staple food in any household in India. So I would like to know if anybody's here. Good morning. Can we start? I will start because I think you can always go back and look at it from the beginning. You can always go back to the videos. So, Chapati and Daal is a staple food in North India. Almost every household will eat it every day, if I am not wrong. And in South India, so India is, when it comes to cooking, the recipes are like broadly like in South India, North India, Eastern India, Western India. There's so many varieties of dishes and recipes. I am from South India, but I have very good North Indian friends who share their recipes, and I cook everything at home. I cook English, Italian, and So I don't have a cooking channel, but my husband and son cook. They're called Dad and Son Sunday Cooking. So you can look out for that. We have some lovely recipes there because the boys are busy working. So my son is a 9-year-old. He's at school, and my husband is a doctor, so he is working today. So that's why I have jumped in and I said, okay, I can do some cooking, which I do every day at home anyway. So I thought I will share some recipes with you. So today we are first going to start with dhal. So when it comes to dhal, there's a lot of things that you can use for dhal. Dhal is mainly lentils, what we are using. Today I'm using green gram lentil, which is split, and it's in yellow color. If you can see, this is so you get it in Tesco, Sainsbury's. If you go to the World Food aisle, you'll get it. So this will be like this. I am cooking this because it's easy to cook. So this will cook in 15-20 minutes. If you can cook it either in a pan or a cooker. I use a cooker. If you have a pressure cooker, you can use that one. Or today I want to show how you cook. So I am going to show you how to cook this as well. Firstly, we need a pan, and then I am using 1 cup of lentils. You can even use the red lentil. That's also easy to cook. Green gram is what I am using. There will be washed one, and there will be with a green. It will also be green. That will take long to cook. But I am using a washed lentil. I would like to show how it is. What I will do is I will share some links after I finish this cooking where you can get it. So we need to wash this first. So I will add a little bit of water. You can wash it. Just give it a rinse once or twice, and then I prefer to use hot water. It's it speeds the cooking time. So I've washed this now. I'm going to add water to it. As I said, I'm using water straight from the kettle, hot water. At home, my mom used to add turmeric to this. But I'm using white pan, and sometimes the water can come out. So what I tend to do is I don't use turmeric now. I use it when I'm seasoning. So I've added water, and then we're going to leave it open and cook for some time. When it starts boiling, you simmer it and cover it with a lid and let it cook like rice, yeah? But this might take a little longer than we cook rice. So I've switched it on now. and we'll leave it to boil. And when it boils, we'll put the lid on. So, but right now we can keep cooking. And now we move on to the chapati bit. So chapati is like my favorite because it's easy to cook, and this is different from naan bread or flatbread what you get. We can buy and eat. This is like homemade. It will be very authentic and it will have that flavor. It's got a very good flavor. So I am using a multigrain wheat flour. So multigrain. This is called multigrain. And I'm cooking for 3 of us. So I'm going to use probably, so 1 scoop will make 2 chapatis. So we are 3. So 6 chapatis, 2 each is a good number. Sometimes you can be greedy and go 3, which we do most of the time. So, and I tend to add a little bit of self-rising flour or plain flour because I think that gives a good color. This will be really brown if you make it. When I add this self-rising flour, it gives nice white color, so I prefer that one. Okay. And there is no two ways about it. You will have to knead this dough with your hands, because you will get good chapati only when you knead it really well. And salt, and water. And there's a small, when you mix dough with your hand, it can stick. So what I do is I tend to rub oil on my hands, and that will help you to stick less. There's nothing less, it will not stick. So yeah, I'm just going to rub a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to start mixing this dough. And water-wise, you have to add little by little, but generally it is 4:1 is the proportion. So if you're adding 4 cups of flour, you add 1 cup of water to it. But it's always better to do it, little by little. If it becomes more, then the dough will become, runny. We don't want that. We want it to really stick together. So we'll get this. See, first, like any dough, this will go like crumbly, and then add little more water to make it into nice dough. So if you want to see any dishes like Indian recipes, you let us know. We can see what we can cook. So when I spoke to Royal Voluntary Services, I said I would like to do some authentic Indian cooking, like how we do in our kitchen every day. I cook every day. I like cooking. So one meal is cooked from scratch. It doesn't take long. Probably half an hour, yeah. And I can't be in the kitchen more than half an hour. That's the max I can stay. So it's boiling now, the lentils. So I've just put it in simmer now, and then we'll put the lid on. And we'll let it cook for a dal. So this will take a little time, but it's really calm, and if you have a nice music going, it'd be really nice to just make this dough very quietly. It will be worth it. trust me, the chapatis, you will love it. If you're cooking along, then I'm sure you're also taking this time. But if you're watching, even watching is good, isn't it? I like to watch cooking channels. They cook and it's nice. So I've made this, and I probably think I made a lot today. It's not going to be 6, it's probably going to be 8. But you can always store this in a tight container, and then you can grab how much you want, and you can make chapatis. It will sit in the fridge nicely for a week. The dough. You can also make chapatis and wrap it in aluminium foil, and you can reheat it whenever you want. I would prefer to reheat it on a hob rather than microwave. But you can, when I have guests, I tend to do, in good numbers, like 20 or 25. And you can keep it in the fridge, and then I tend to wrap it in aluminium foil and put it in the oven for it to get warm. Then you can serve it. It will be fresh, and it will not look as if you've cooked it before. So this is almost done. So you really have to knead it, like you have to put your force on, and then I think that's how my mom and my granny and all this, they're all very strong compared to what we are now, I feel. So almost ready. And then what we have to do is we will have to rub a little oil on top, and then we let it rest for half an hour is good, or 10 minutes, but it definitely needs a little bit of resting time for it to all come together. So this is almost ready. You really have to. I have seen, in North Indian families, they just they put it on and then they do that and all that. I don't do all that, but yes, but you need good. You have to put force and knead it. I'll show you how it's all combined together. There are no lumps. There should be no lumps. Yes, this is almost ready now. See, this is one big ball now. What I tend to do is just squeeze a little bit and then rub oil on top of it. Then before we make chapatis, we'll give a little more knead again. We have to do that. So I'm going to rub oil. This is not going to, it's not like pizza or any other dough. It's not going to, still we need just a resting time. So that's done now. We need to cover it, leave it to rest for 10 minutes while we get to cook our dal. So dal is cooking, but what I have done is I've already cooked the dal to save time. So we'll put this away and we'll start cooking. So this is how the dal will look, the lentils, when it is cooked. So I've cooked this morning, so it's all cooked. Now you can add a little bit of hot water to it to make it thin, but you need, I'm using a potato smasher to just, combine everything together. This is a cooked lentil. I know it's still cooking, but I've cooked it before. I'll show you. It will take time, so I thought I'll cook it beforehand. It is cooking, but at the end of the thing, I think by the end of the dal making and chapati, it will be ready. So I'll be able to show how it will look when it is cooked. So now we move on to dal. So I have, okay, this is ready. Now we'll get on to the exciting. Okay. So for dal, we need it's a two-step cooking the dal. One is The lentil has to be cooked. If you cook it beforehand, it's good. I always tend to cook it in lots, and I put it in small freezer bags and freeze it. Then it makes it easier for me. I just grab one bag at a time, put it in a lid, soak it in a little bit of hot water, and it's ready. I do only the seasoning. So that way it becomes easier. You don't have to cook. That's why I don't stay in the kitchen for more than half an hour, as I said, because I like to cook fast. This is very slow cooking for me. I am keeping it slow. Okay, this is going to be a bit noisy, I think, the induction hob. But I thought if I cook here, you'll be able to see what's happening rather than cooking behind my back. So now we go to add oil. So probably 2 teaspoons of oil. I am using sunflower oil. We let it to warm, and then I'll switch off this for a second until I explain what's happening. So I have mustard seeds and cumin seeds, and this is black gram. This can be skipped if you want. This one seems to be used much in South India. In North India, they don't use this. But I like it because it gives a crunchy effect. So yeah. Now let's start cooking. Put it on. I'm going to fry this. So oil is hot. You have to wait until the oil is a little bit hot. And then I'm going to add mustard seeds. And then the black gram. And then cumin seeds. And you have to wait until all that splatters. It takes some time. You can hear the sound now. Sizzling away. And I'm using both green chilies and red chili today, but we don't tend to eat, in our household, we don't tend to eat a lot of spice. In India, we chop this green chili nicely and add it, but because we don't eat spice, we don't like the heat. So what I have done is I just split open green chilies. I'm adding 2. This will give a nice flavor. It won't make this hot. Then the red chilies, it's 2. What I tend to do is I break it open and then add the seeds in. But if you want, you can avoid that. So this is done. And as I said, I don't add turmeric to the lentil when it's cooking. I add it here. So turmeric. Add a little bit of paprika. Again, because we don't like hot food, I'm adding paprika. But you can add red chili powder. Then onion. Oh, that's so good. You have to let it, you will have to saute it for 30 seconds probably. Until the onion softens. Then we add tomatoes. So I'm adding 1 onion and 2 tomatoes to 3 people. Yeah, I'm cooking 3. If you have any questions, you can just type it in the comments, and I will attend to it after this session. So you'll have to let the tomatoes cook for some time. If you have time, you can cover it and cook it for a few minutes. I tend to lose patience. I add a little bit of hot water and so make the process a little bit quick. But then, if you let it cook for some time, you can soften and all the flavors will get in. So that's a correct way of cooking. So no cheating. Sometimes I do. I am short of time. So this will show. Look at this, how it's looking. Colors, onions and green chilies, everything put together. Promise you this kind of so good. Okay. And then I tend to add little bit of coriander leaf now, and I save the rest for garnishing later. Now, a little bit of hot water. So all the flavors will really ooze out with the hot water in. It doesn't need, if the lentil is cooked, it just needs 5 minutes. Trust me. And I'm going to add salt at this point. So I'm going to add a little more because I'm going to add lentil as well. So salt. And this is a very basic, simple dal I'm cooking. But I tend to add, you can add carrots and beans, finely chopped, along with green peas to it. It makes a nice soup, and it can be added with rice or naan bread or chapati. That way you get vegetables in as well. But this is the basic dal which you get in any sort of restaurant or anywhere you go. But they make it rich by adding butter and sometimes cream to it. But I'm not going to add anything because we tend to eat with clarified butter. That's the ghee. So that will add more flavor to it. So I don't add any cream or any richness to it. This is just a simple food which is really, really rich because the lentil is high in protein. If there are vegetarians like me and vegan, you can follow this without adding ghee to it. It will be vegan friendly dish. So this is almost done now. Now we can add this cooked lentil. I don't think I need to add all of it, so I'm going to add half of it, and then it will go in the freezer the next time. I'm going to increase the thing. Need to really let it cook and boil together. It's looking gorgeous. The turmeric and the paprika, the colors, absolutely. Ooh, can't wait to eat it now. Especially when it's cold out there. It's really nice. So let it cook for say 3 minutes, and then our dal will be ready. We get the place sorted for our chapatis now. Okay. I'm going to switch off the hob and let it settle down. So this is done now. The dal is ready. Let me show it to us with the camera. Look at this. It's looking amazing, isn't it? Okay, that's dal. Done. I'm going to add this coriander at the very end. So let's leave it here. Now for chapati making, you need few things set right. Then only you will get that. The process becomes easier, or else it is slightly difficult. So You need a rolling pin and a nice big chopping board I use. So what I tend to use is, if I'm using this side for chopping, I tend to use this side for chapati making. That's, things will not be there. That makes it easier. And I tend to, put a tea towel underneath so that I don't mess around the space, because then you can dust it away or put it for wash. So this is the way I cook. So now let's get into this art of making chapatis. So we don't need all this. We just need oil. So I tend to use, again, olive oil for this. And when I'm cooking chapatis, I like coconut oil flavor on chapatis. But in India, they use ghee or oil. My mom used to use oil. In North India, definitely they prefer ghee. But I prefer coconut oil. I tend to take all oils, like, so I make sure I add all sort of cooking oil in my cooking, everyday cooking, like rapeseed oil is very good. And I also prefer cold pressed. So coconut oil is something I use less, so I tend to add that for my chapatis when I'm finally making it. So now, so this is how it looks now. So it's ready. If I can rest it for another 10-15 minutes, it will be good. But it doesn't, there's no harm in cooking now. So let's do this now. Okay, so we want small balls like that. So when I say small ball, smaller than a tennis ball, probably this size. It depends on how big your pan is. So I'm going to cook chapatis in this one. So probably I'm going to do a little smaller one then. Yeah. So that it fits in properly. Okay. I'll do two. I'll show you two ways. One is the very easiest method of doing. Another one is the traditional way of cooking the chapatis. So if you're brave, you can go in for the second one, because it needs a little bit of technique. That is all. So, and you need a little bit of flour for dusting. So I tend to keep it in the side like this. So, and it's best to keep it covered, even when you're cooking. I hope you can see it. I can't see the comments. So I tend to dust a little bit of flour on both the sides and go with a rolling pin. Firstly, we're going to show the simplest way of cooking. So I'll switch it off because it is noisy. After I make I'll show you how to make it. Then start. So this is the simplest way of doing. So it's just making a good circle, yeah. And that's a challenge. We call it, math. It looks like math most of the time. India, Australia, and whatever you want. So circle is a huge challenge. Let me see what I get today. Nearly a circle I've got. So, and you want it thin. With the wheat flour and with the kneading, you'll get it this thin. So this is very important. You want it thin. If it is thick, the chapatis will be hard. So this is the simplest way of doing chapati. Let me take this out and let me rest it here. One done. Yeah. So I'm going to show you another one, the traditional way of doing the chapati. Yeah. So again, a small one, then I'm going to dust flour. You don't need too much, just a little bit. And Now the traditional way of doing chapatis, yeah? Each one do it differently. This is the way, my mom used to do. I learned it differently from a North Indian friend of mine as well. She taught an easy way to do it. So once you have got a small circle, you need to apply a little bit of oil. And we need folding. So the circle, so this is a geometry class now. The circle becomes triangle. So that's one thing. So how we do it, we just fold it. So we fold it into two and then again into two. So that's a nice triangle. And then you dust some of your, and now you get a bigger triangle. But when you roll it, this will help the chapati to puff. You will see it. I don't know if I'll get it on the induction form. But when I do it on the gas, this will help the chapatis to puff up, and that will cook really well inside. It has something to it, this way of doing chapatis. I don't know what it is, but I like it this way because I think it's soft, or I don't know. The taste cannot be better this way just because you're folding it differently, can it? I don't think so. Because I've seen my mom doing this traditionally. So, yeah. So I haven't got a triangle, I think. Nearly a square. That doesn't matter. So, this is done now. Roll it into the tin. It is easy. It looks difficult, but it's really easy. The kneading is very important. So you need to knead well. And then once it's ready, you will have to leave it to rest for 10 minutes. You can see how soft this is now. It's very soft. It's like the dough, what we get, the clay. It's like that. So that's enough now. That's two. We're going to cook two now. I'll switch the powder on. Okay. The dal is cooked now. I haven't seen the time how long it's taken. It's probably taken 25 minutes, isn't it? So it's cooked. I'll show you in a minute. So we need this pan to be hot, and we might need a nice coconut oil. Okay, so we'll get on to do this chapatis now. Okay, I'll show you the first one what we did, just a circle, yeah, without folding. We need the pan to be really hot. Grease it. And I tend to do it with my hands, but if you prefer, you can use a spatula. So we're ready to go. We need it to cook on either side, and then we apply oil. That way it will really be soft and nice. Let it cook. And you will have to be turning around. This is not something where you can put it on the hob and go somewhere, do something and come back. You will have to stand. But it will take only a few minutes. You can see we're ready in probably 1 or 2 minutes. See, it's cooked this side now. Then we're going to cook the other side. When we cook the other side, we can do the applying of oil. I'm going to apply oil on this side now. You turn it. This is the technique which is important. The kneading, and see this is cooked now this side. I'm going to turn the other side and apply oil again. Yeah. It's almost ready. So it just takes few seconds for it. You have to press the side so that that gets cooked. And your chapatis are ready. Oh, I let it cook a lot this side, but this side is okay. Let me be careful with the next one. So this is the next one. So we'll fold it and it will be ready to serve. So if you are adding ghee to this, this is a stage you apply ghee, fold it and keep it. You can see it coming up. Unfortunately, I don't know whether you can see it. See, this is puffing up because of the folds. This is almost done because I think it's really hot now. It's puffing up. I'm so sorry I'm not able to show, but I'm excited it's puffing up. See, it's puffing up. See, it's puffed up nicely. And now we can turn off the stove. It's almost done. So we can fold this as well. So our chapati and dal is ready now. Let's serve it. So I have a little bit of salad here. Cucumber, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, peppers, and a dash of salt, pepper, and lemon juice. That's it. Because there's no vegetable in the dal, I tend to serve it with salad most of the time. So this is dal ready, and I'm going to serve it with ghee. So this is my clarified butter, which I make at home. So you'll have to boil butter, at a certain point, and then when the butter boils really well, you'll have to simmer it, and then you get this ghee, clarified butter, it's called. So I like to serve my dal with ghee, as I mentioned. So this is thick. If you want it thin, you can probably add more water to it. I prefer it in this consistency. I forgot to garnish. You can add a little bit of coriander before serving. Look good, yellow and green. So a little bit, and so when you add ghee, the flavor will be amazing. And our chapatis are ready to eat. So here we go from Priya's kitchen, authentic Indian cooking, chapati and dhal. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me. And if you like to see some more dishes, like whatever recipe you want, you please let us know in the comment, whatever it is. We'll be happy to do it. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week ahead and have a good day. Thank you so much. Take care. Namaste.